Hey, hello friend, this is Preetham. Today we are going to discuss what is testing life cycle. But before we start, don't forget to like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel. Here we go. We will start with today's topic, what is software testing life cycle. The software testing life cycle is a systematic approach of testing a software application to ensure that it meets the requirement and is free of defects. It is a process that follows a series of steps or phases, and each phase has a specific objective and deliveries. The STLC is used to ensure that the software is high on quality, reliable, and meets the user expectation. The main goal of the STLC is to any identify and document any defect or issues in the software application as early as possible in the development process. This allows for issues to be addressed and resolved before the software is released to the public or to the client. The stages of STLC include test planning, test analysis, test design, test environment setup, test execution, test closure, and defect retesting. Each of these stages includes specific activities and deliveries that helps to ensure that the software is thoroughly tested and meets the requirements of the end user. Overall, the STLC is an important process that helps to ensure the quality of software application and provides a systematic approach to testing. It allows organization to release high quality software that meets the needs of their customers, ultimately leading to customer satisfaction and business success. So next we'll see what is the characteristics of STLC. The STLC is a fundamental part of the software development lifecycle SDLC, but STLC consists of only the testing phases. STLC starts as soon as requirements are defined or software requirement document is shared by stakeholder. STLC yields a step-by-step process to ensure quality software in the initial stages of STLC. While the software product or the application is being developed, the testing team analyzes and defines the scope of testing, entry and exit criteria, and also test cases. It helps to reduce the test cycle time and also enhances product quality. As soon as the development phases is over, the testing team is ready with test cases and starts the executions. This helps in finding bugs in the early phases. This is all about the characteristics of STLC. There are six very important phases of testing life cycle, so I'm going to explain you all in detail. So we will start with the first step, requirement analysis. Then second one is been test planning. Then third one is been test case development. Fourth one is been test environment setup. Then fifth one is been test execution. Then sixth one is been test closure. So first step, requirement analysis. So basically requirement analysis is the first step of the software testing life cycle. In this phase, quality assurance team understand the requirements, like what is to be tested. If anything is missing or not understandable, then the quality assurance team meets with the stakeholder to better understand the detailed knowledge of the requirement. The activities that take place during the requirement analysis stages includes reviewing the software requirement documents, means SRD, and other related documents, interviewing stakeholders to gather additional information, identifying any substances or inconsistencies in the requirement, identifying any missing or incomplete requirements, identifying any potential risk or issues that may impact the testing process, then creating a requirement traceability matrix to map requirement to test cases. At the end of this stage, the testing team should have a clear understanding of the software requirement and should have identified any political issues that may impact the testing process. This will help to ensure that the testing process is focused on the most important areas of the software and that the testing team is able to deliver high quality result. Then second one is been test planning. Test planning is the most efficient phase of the software testing lifecycle, where all testing plans are defined in this phase manager of the testing. The team calculates the estimate effort and cost for the testing work. This phase gets started once the requirement gathering phase is completed. The activities that take place during the test planning stages includes identify the testing objective and scope, developing a test strategy, selecting the testing method and techniques that will be used, identifying the testing environment and resources needed, identifying the test cases that will be executed and the test data that will be used, estimating the time and cost requirement for testing, identifying the test deliverables and milestones, assigning roles and responsibility to the testing team, then reviewing and approaching the test plan. At the end of second stage, the testing team should have a detailed plan for the testing activities that will be performed and a clear understanding of the testing objectives, scopes and deliveries. This will help to ensure that the testing process is well organized and that the testing team is able to deliver high quality result. Then third test, then the third phase of the STLC, test case development. So the test case development phase in get started once the test planning phase is completed. In this phase, testing team notes down the detailed test cases. The testing team also prepares the requirement test data for the testing. When the test cases are prepared, then they are reviewed by the quality assurance team. The activities that take place during the test case development stage includes identifying the test case that will be developed, writing test cases that are clear, conscious and easy to understand, then creating test data and test scenarios that will be used in the test cases, identify the expected result for each test case, reviewing and validating the test cases, updating the requirement traceability matrix to map requirement to test cases. At the end of third stage, the testing team should have a set of comprehensive and accurate test cases that provide adequate coverage of the software or application. This will help to ensure that the testing process is thoroughly through and that any potential issue are identified and addressed before the software is released. The fourth stage, the environment setup. The environment setup is the vital part of the STLC. Basically, the test environment decides the conditions on which software is tested. This is independent activity and can be started along with test case development. In this process, the testing team is not involved. Either the developer or the customer creates the testing environment. Test execution, the fifth stage. After the test case development and test environment setup, test execution phase get started. In this phase, testing team start executing test cases based on prepared test cases in the earlier step. The activities that take place during the test execution stage of the software testing lifecycle includes test execution, defect logging, test data preparation, test environment setup, test execution, test result analysis, defect retesting, test reporting. It is important to note that test execution is an interactive process and may need to be repeated multiple times until all identified defects are fixed and the software is deemed fit to release. Then test closure, the last sixth stage. Test closure is the final stage of the software testing lifecycle where all testing related activities are completed and documented. The main objective of the test closure stage is to ensure that all testing related activities have been completed and that the software is ready for release. At the end of the test closure stage, the testing team should have a clear understanding of the software quality and reliability and any defect or issue that were identified during testing should have been resolved. The test closure stage also include documenting the testing process and any lesson learned so that they can be used to improve future testing processes. Test closure is the final stage of software testing lifecycle where all testing related activities are completed and documented. The main activities that take place during the test closure stage include test summary report, defect tracking, test environment cleanup, test closure report, knowledge transfer, feedback and improvement. So this is all about the six very crucial and important phases of testing lifecycle. Hope you like the content. Thank you very much friends to watching my video. Please like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel.